what I want to do in this video is to show you one of the two ways to solve a system of inequality, a system of equations. And basically what we have here, is a 2x2 system, and you will see what a 2x2 system really means is having two variables and two equations. And you will see these equations pretty much encased in a bracket. And what it wants you to do in the problem is to find out the x value and the y value, or say the a value or the b value. It doesn't really matter. It just, if it's graphing, then it'll definitely be an x and a y variable. But if it's just asking you to find the one variable 1 value or the variable 2 value, then it doesn't really matter what letter the variable is. And when you first start out, say if it was just this one equation, you would want to solve it the same way you would say this problem: x plus 5 is equal to 10. And you will hear teachers explain this in class, that you want to isolate x, and the way you do that is you subtract 5 from both sides. Since it's an equation, you have this equal sign, and to make sure that it's true, you want things the same on both sides. If you want things same on the both to result in the same things on both sides, then you have to do what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So, kind of like that, what you want done to you, do it to the other person, and whatnot, sort of like that. So now you have x equals 5, right? Well, the substitution method is basically the same thing, and it's pretty much in the first equation all solved out for us. X is equal to negative 4y. And to figure out the solution set, which is basically in parentheses x and comma y, and you'll notice that if you were graphing this equation, you would plot these coordinates, the x and y coordinates, on a coordinate plane, where this is y and this is x. So without further ado, let's solve this equation. So we have 2x plus 6y equals to negative 3. Now, we go with what we are already familiar with, which is basically solving for one variable, right? Well, how do we take this equation and make sure that there's only one set of variables on this, so that we can isolate that one variable to our liking? Well, what we do is we make sure that there is only one variable, and we can substitute the value that we know, which is for x, to have only y values. And you'll see how I do that. So we have 2, and we substitute, just like right here. We would have x, which is basically in parentheses y. 5 plus 5 equals 10, and now we have 10 equals 10, right? So that checks out. We substitute this value, negative 4y, in for x. So now we have plus 6y equals to negative 3, right? So we distribute the 2, because we're multiplying in parentheses, and it results in a negative 8y. We add that to 6y, which equals to negative 3, and we combine like terms. Since they're both next to a y variable, the coefficients are next to a y variable. Negative 8 plus 6, add them like you would any other number, it results in a negative 2y, which equals to negative 3. Now, to isolate y fully, we divide on both sides, because it's an equation. We divide on both sides by negative 2, and you will see if in any division or multiplication of negative numbers, a negative number divided by a negative number is a positive number. So we write the improper fraction where the numerator is larger than the denominator, 3 over 2. That's an improper fraction. So now we have the y value. What do we do to find the x value? Well, we input it in the original first equation because we know that x is equal to negative 4y. So what we do, there we go, negative 4 multiplied by 3 over 2. So now we're multiplying pretty much by fractions, and we can make negative 4 a fraction by putting it over 1, because 1 goes into 4 times. So multiply with a little dot. That's just means I'm multiplying it, times 3 over 2. Multiplying fractions is rather simple. You just multiply across the top for the numerators, and you multiply across the bottom for the denominators. And this equation results in negative 12 over 2. And that simplifies to 2 goes into 12 6 times, and we have to write that negative 6 over 1. And that is our x value. We figured out our x value. It's negative 6. Now, we can go back and check, but that would actually be rather redundant due to the fact that we have basically already proven this true. Negative 4y equals x. X is equal to negative 6, right? We have negative 6 equals 4y, which we already figured out right here and right here equals to negative 6. And it's true. So basically, we have proven the solution set. We have proven the solution set written in parentheses. Negative x is equal to negative 6. You always write it from the left to the right. Negative 6 and 3 over 2. This is our answer. We box it always because it's math, and we are done.